Welcome back to the channel. This week we are looking at a brand of guitar that I am completely unfamiliar with. I've never played or owned any of their instruments, so I'm really excited to see what's in store for us as we review the Chapman ML3 Modern. In my younger, more heavy metal focused days, I really strongly disliked the Tele body shape. I don't know why. Something about just its overly rounded kind of nature just really offended me back in the day. But over time, I've really grown to like the Tele body shape. And I am a total sucker for a kind of modern take on Teles. So whenever I see something like a double humbucker equipped Tele, or even like a baritone Tele version, like ESP do, something about it just really tickles my pickle. So when I saw this particular guitar and clocked the spec they were offering for the price, I had to get it in on the channel. This particular Chapman ML3 is finished in a color called Rainstorm. So this is a very thin top over a mahogany body. And I think you will agree it looks completely stunning. I assure you that it looks just as good in person as it does in pictures or video here. Currently, this guitar, at the time of making this video, is retailing around the £500 price point. And this, at the moment at least, represents the cheapest way to get a guitar equipped with the Seymour, Duncan, Sentient and Pegasus pickups. Now, the most recent guitar I reviewed, the ESP LTD EC1000, also happened to have these pickups in, but was nearly twice the price of this guitar. So this thing really is punching above its weight price-wise in terms of the spec it's bringing you. You have those pickups configured with coil splits and a 3-way toggle switch. You have a proper tusk nut, a bolt-on construction with a maple neck. Short of a set of locking tuners, which are unfortunately missing from this guitar, this is spec'd really as well as anything you could expect to be under the kind of £1,000 price point. Now, Chapman guitars are a relatively young guitar brand, at least compared to somebody like Fender or Gibson, who've been around for donkey's years. They were founded by YouTube guitar personality Rob Chapman of Anderton's fame, and they are currently co-owned by Anderton's and Chapman himself, I believe. Now, I did also do an unboxing and first impressions video for this guitar, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. But in the comments of that video, some of you touched on a point that I was kind of already looking to cover when reviewing this particular guitar, which is that unlike somebody like Fender or Gibson, this guitar is coming from a brand that's pretty much based around one person, and that is Rob Chapman. Now, there are a whole bunch of these kind of YouTube personality based guitar brands popping up nowadays. You of course have Solar Guitars from Ola England. You have Abassi Concepts from Tosin Abassi of Animals as Leaders fame. To me, it seems almost like a double-edged sword where you have the potential to put off just as many people as you attract. All it takes really is one wrong move by them, one misjudged YouTube video or social media post, and it's kind of going to change how you feel about the brand and potentially the guitar you've got as well. I think it is a shame because, as you're going to see in a minute, this is a cracking guitar for under 500 quid. This is as good as guitars I've played at nearly twice its price. Now, As I said, Chapman is a relatively young guitar company compared to all the incumbent players out there. They've been around a few years now. They started off really as kind of basic entry-level stuff. Like you get just a really like kind of cheap guitar that really was like a good modding platform more than anything else. So you could pick up these Chapman guitars relatively cheaply. You could slap in a decent set of pickups and kind of make your own Frankencaster or something like that. These days, they really are punching kind of around the mid-range. Like they make some more expensive models around the kind of £1,000 price point, but when you look at the bulk of what Chapman offer, it's kind of mid-range to entry-level stuff. And like any good kind of upstart brand, they are sort of disrupting the big boys by heavily undercutting them with specs. So this guitar, like I said, for under 500 quid, the only place you're going to get specs similar to this is from somebody like Harley Benton, who kind of attacked the market in a similar way. Now, Chapman has not been without its kind of controversy and lots of vocal people online complaining about examples of poor build quality, poor QC. This guitar has totally come to me as a standard retail customer. This hasn't been sent to me for review, nothing like that. This thing really is built well. I have no issues particularly with it, other than cosmetically, the nut is not finished great. On the treble side of the nut, it's really quite rough. There is some cosmetic issues there. The pickup cavities are not the cleanest I've seen. The routing of them is slightly rough around the edges. However, the finish is fantastic. The fretwork is basically perfect. There is no issues with these frets whatsoever. They're standard nickel jumbo frets. Chapman do make a point in their kind of sales blurb about this guitar of saying that it has a rolled fretboard edge for enhanced comfort. And whilst I can't feel much of a difference between that and like a standard fretboard edge, the fretwork in particular stands out as just being really nice, like way better really than something at this price point has any right to be. The frets are really nicely rounded. There are no slots sticking out or anything like that. For those of you who have seen my unboxing and first impressions video, you will know that this guitar also came with a nice little satin cleaning cloth with the Chapman branding on it, which I thought was quite a nice touch. They don't need to do that at this price point. So most importantly then after that, how does it sound? This guitar is a bolt-on construction. It has a mahogany body with some type of cap over the top to get the finish. It has a maple neck, and this thing is really bright and snappy sounding. Certainly in the way that you would hope a bolt-on maple necked guitar to be. I mean, we are talking almost roasted maple levels of brightness and snappiness with this thing. This would make a great guitar to just have around the house because it's so loud acoustically. You can quite comfortably play it without even plugging it in and have a really good time. This thing sounds killer no matter what you're playing on it, whether it be high gain kind of chuggy stuff to really nice crisp clean and really anything in between. You do have the option of coil splits with these pickups as well, so you have great versatility there. I really don't think it's possible to have a bad sounding guitar with these pickups in. They really are quite sonically neutral. Unfortunately, some people are going to be put off of this guitar and the Chapman brand in general because of the name that's on the headstock. I completely understand that. And to be totally honest with you, if it weren't for the fact that I was doing a video on this guitar, I probably wouldn't have bought a guitar from this brand either. Now, that is a shame, because this is a brilliant piece of musical equipment. Certainly for something under 500 quid, this is just outrageously good value at the moment. I was expecting build quality to be kind of lacking behind the bigger players like ESP and all the other Indonesian brands, but this particular example is just as good as it should be for the price. So that was a surprise as well. So in summary, I can wholeheartedly recommend this guitar to you. I think it will bring you excellent bang for buck. The finish is absolutely stunning. My only real gripe with the aesthetics and the ergonomics of this thing is the reversed telly style headstock. I just think it looks a bit weird because it's really thin. I mean, it's barely wider than the neck. I don't know, something about that doesn't quite work for me, but you may like it. It's a subjective thing after all. Consider me very impressed with my first ever experience with the Chapman Guitars brand. Would you like to see more Chapman models on the channel? If you would, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see. Thank you so much again for tuning in and watching one of my videos. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please do think about chucking me a subscribe. It really does help me and encourage me to continue making content for you. Better yet, you can support me via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.